Hey guys, it's Alo Knight here. Finally have OBS installed on my laptop. Very excited about that. Now that opens up a whole new world of content that I can make for you guys at home. So, first thing I'm going to do is go over a couple of games from a tournament I played in all the way back in 2018. What's special about this tournament in particular is that it was the first tournament that I played since my retirement back in 2017. Well, I say retirement, I just got beat so bad that it felt like a retirement when I was done playing. Back in 2017, my last tournament was the 2017 Super Nationals in Tennessee. Um, really tough tournament. And then 1 year later, I finally got back into playing tournaments. This was the first one. I'm gonna make a video, a video for each game. So this will be game one, and this was a Sicilian game, and I was white. This game was there were definitely a few missteps, and I'm glad that I played in a weekend tournament as my first tournament coming back than playing in a larger tournament. And that's like a good tip that I have for a lot of players that want to get back into tournaments. Don't play in any big tournaments if it's your first time, unless you just want that experience. It's best to just play a couple practice games. That's awesome. But enough of that. Let's go into the game. So we have Sicilian, so it's e4. c5 has been played. I play knight f3, knight f6. I thought knight f6 was a strange move. And because of my opponent's rating, I decided that I should go for the win as fast as possible. This probably wasn't the best mentality, but that's the mentality I had in the game. So I played e5, just try to make my opponent think as much as possible. And then my opponent played knight to e4. I didn't think that was a very good move either, because as soon as the knight comes to e4, it's just gonna get kicked by d3, and this knight's just very weak. It's gonna get tempoed off, and I'm gonna have an extra tempo. So after I did play d3, my opponent's knight is actually trapped. So he can play either f5 or d5, but I'm just gonna take here this way, and then I'll have a knight for a pawn. And my opponent can also play knight to g5, but in that case I'll just capture by either the bishop or the knight, and I'll be up a piece. And my opponent realized this, so he decided to just take what he can get. He played knight takes f2. He took away my castling rights, but that wasn't too much of a concern for me. Okay, the game continues. g6 was played. So I decided, since I have there's two imbalances already on the board. My king safety was going to be one of the main imbalances I knew, because I couldn't castle when he could. And there was a material imbalance, so I knew that I had to focus on development most of the time. And I had to make sure that my king was safe. So after bishop to e3, we have d6. And I decided, since I was up in material, I should be accepting all kinds of traits. So I took the pawn. He recaptured with his queen. Very good. Activating his queen. Maybe not good now in the opening, but at least he's activating something. Knight to c3 has been played. Bishop to g7. Taking control of the long dark square diagonal. Very nice. Knight to e4. I decided to just try to go for the center as quickly as possible. Kick the queen away. Queen back to d8. And then I decided to just take the pawn. I think, honestly, that pawn's going to be there for a while, even if it's not. What's more important is my king safety. So I probably should have played something along the lines of maybe bishop to e2, rook to e1, then king to g1 or f1. That would have been a lot nicer. Because I'm already up in material, I don't need to go material hunting at this moment. I need to make sure my king's safe that way. And not only is my king safe, not only am I up in material, I'm up in development too. So I just need to focus on king safety, and then after that, I'm going to use those imbalances that I have to win the game. So I took the knight. I took the pawn with my knight. I was being greedy. He took my b2 pawn, and that was good for me, because now it opens up my rook. Now my rook's going to be on the b file. Then he played bishop to a3. Okay, and now there's already an attack on the b7 pawn. But that's not important. That should not be important to me. I should play bishop to e2, then king, or rook to e1, then king to f1. I need to get safe. with how low rated this player is, I guess that's why I decided to just not be concerned with safety. Although that's just bad play on my part. Even though my opponent's rating was low, I should always be thinking about the best moves, not trying to cheese my opponent because he's lower rated. I should always be focused on the best plan because he could be studying really hard for a year and then his rating was his 900 and he could be actually playing like a 1300 and then I would just be making all kinds of wrong moves because I was like, oh, this guy's 900 when I should be focusing on what's best and not on his rating. So, but here I just decided to ignore that, ignore my advice 2 years in the future and just take the pawn. Exchanges happened. Then he played queen to d5, a nice centralizing move. And I decided to just go for the a7 pawn. Then he decided that he wanted to trade down, so I took his rook. Bishops were exchanged, and now my king, as you can see, my king is now wide open. There isn't too much material to be concerned about that, and my opponent isn't developed enough, so there's really no concern, but this is just bad play on my part, I think. But perhaps I'm just being too harsh on myself. Okay. So now I knew that the position was winding down towards the end game. I knew I had to get my pieces active. So I put my queen on b1 to control the b file. My opponent castled. It's kind of funny. I always find it funny whenever people castle late in the game. Like you spend all this time calculating underlines, you just forget. Oh yeah, my opponent can still castle. Okay. Bishop to e2. Finally, find the idea. Bishop to e2. Rook somewhere on the first rank. And then my opponent plays rook to d3. And now you're gonna see a couple of moves from my opponent that are really nice centralizing moves, taking advantage of my king in the center. There you go. Okay. Rook to d1. In hindsight, I think maybe queen to b5 was a better move. I just need a. Oh, you know what? No, that's not bad. It hangs. I hang a2. That's not good. Or perhaps queen b3 is nice. Hangs on to the pawn. Is attacking the king. Controls more squares and gets ready to double and put pressure on the b file even more. So that's good. I probably should have done that. Rook d1 was played. He brings his rook to d6. I decided it's time to go back with my king. Whoops, skip the move. Opponent gives a check. I took my king into f1. His opponent just goes all out. My opponent just decided to come in on e6, but he missed it. His knight was hanging. King to g7. And then I decided that I needed to find a way to get this queen out of e3. It's not bad for me. I'm already up 2 pieces, so I shouldn't be concerned about it. But if you notice, my pieces are pretty boxed in. If I'm not careful, I can actually run into some trouble. Well, not really, but that's just what I had in mind. So I came up with the idea of queen b2, check. And then once the king moves, I was able to centralize my queen on e5 to oppose the queen on e3. And as I was opposing this queen, I wouldn't have to worry about it getting captured because it was supported by the knight. And that's what I played. Give a check, hopped on e5, and now my queen is not just centralized, opposing my opponent's menacing queen on e3. And then he decided to just allow me to trade, so he played rook to e6. I captured on e3, captured with the rook, and now the position is just going to start falling apart. There isn't enough material for me to be concerned. I just need to start shoving my pawns on the board. He only has one piece. Development shouldn't be much of an issue anymore. I just need to worry about my pawns. Okay, so first I kicked his rook out. Probably wasn't even necessary for that, because if anything, the rook needs to be worried about these passed pawns. So he wants to leave here anyway. So I should have played a move. Should have played maybe rook to b1, or perhaps even rook to a1's probably. Oops, rook a1's probably even stronger. Either of those moves would have been fine. Okay, now play a4, rook a5, rook a1, king f8. Now he's trying to bring in his king to stop the pawn, but I just have way too much material. It's way too late now. A5, I decided to lock in this rook because I wanted to play D5. So as soon as I played D5, this bishop was going to hit this rook, and he wouldn't be able to come forward. Well, let me just play it out. My idea behind A5 is to, let's say I play a different, let's say I play king. Now he has a chance to slow down my rook A5. And if I wanted to play, because my idea was to play D4, D4 to keep the rook off. Now he can just go forward. Idea with the game is now whenever I'm ready to kick, he can't go forward. If he goes forward, he loses the rook. But my opponent unfortunately missed this, and I was able to get the rook for free. And then the game was ended shortly after. I will go through the moves. King c7, pawn a6 is running that pawn down the board. King b8, pawn to a7, and after king to a8, checkmate in one. Pause your videos, see if you can find it. Okay, if you found this move, you're good at checkmate in ones. The move is bishop to c6, and white wins. Alright, so I'm not really used to all this technical stuff, so this is going to be a lot of trial and error for me. I'm going to be posting the rest of these videos throughout the week, and that's why I haven't posted this week, is I was out. I wanted to post a couple days ago, but I decided I wanted to do this, and it took up a lot of time. So, but now I'm going to be experimenting with this. I really want to. I'm really excited about this. And yeah, after I go through these two games, I mean the next two games, I'm going to be going over the tournament I played this year, which has a lot of good games of mine, a lot of strong games. Really excited about that. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content, please leave a like, please subscribe, please leave some comments, ask questions. I like to respond to the comments. I enjoy it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please be safe and have a good one.